It's no secret. The New York Knicks are hoarding their assets, looking to get a star or all-star player this offseason. But a lot of fans are wondering who that player could be. One name that consistently comes up for the Knicks is Donovan Mitchell. However, a recent report from NBA insider Brian Windhorst actually goes against those reports that Donovan could be coming to the New York Knicks. We're going to break down exactly what Windy stated about Donovan Mitchell's future and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Brian Windhorst provides an important update on Donovan Mitchell's future with Cleveland and how that can affect the New York Knicks and their potential plans this offseason to add that star player. Now, for me, Donovan Mitchell has been the guy that I've wanted the New York Knicks to go after. Clearly, the Knicks had interest when he was in Utah. They wanted to go after him, but Danny Ainge and that price point, it was never going to work. Now, maybe he's in Cleveland. If the Cleveland Cavaliers do not do what they need to do come this postseason, I think that opens the door again for potentially Donovan Mitchell coming to New York. But before we get to that, let's break down exactly what NBA insider Brian Windhorst stated on ESPN recently when he mentioned the following about Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks potentially going after him as a target. According to Windy, I don't know if the Donovan Mitchell Knicks thing is really still a possibility. I guess it is because he can still be a free agent in a year. I don't know how Donovan feels. I don't know how he feels. But I gotta imagine as a kid from New York who wanted to play for the Knicks in 2022, that's where he wanted to get traded. It's not an insult to Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I'm not insulting it. He wanted to be a Knick. He's got to be looking at what Jalen Brunson has and feeling like, damn, that could have been me. Shout out to Brian Windhorst, but honestly, that's a weird way to put it. If you noticed, he started it off by saying, I don't think that Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks is a possibility anymore. But then, as he continued to talk, he walked it back by saying, but you know what? He always wanted to be a Knick. He sees what Jalen Brunson has. He sees what he's doing, and clearly he wants to be part of New York. So he kind of walked it back a little bit, in my opinion. And if you take a look here, he even states, I gotta imagine, as a kid from New York who wanted to play for the Knicks in 2022, that's where he wanted to get traded. That's where he wanted to get traded. So even Brian Windhorst is admitting here that Donovan Mitchell has always wanted to be a New York Knicks player. He's always wanted to be in New York, and that's the team he's wanted to be on. We all know that, and Windy just doubled down on it. So the fact that he started it off by saying that he's not sure that Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks is a thing, and then basically ended it by saying, but you know what? It probably is a thing because he's going to be a free agent in a year. And that's what we have to focus on here. That's what I want to highlight here. Donovan Mitchell is a free agent in a year. If Cleveland flames out again in the first round and they don't do what they need to do, or they get embarrassed again, swept, gentlemen swept, or anything like that, Donovan Mitchell's gone. We all know that. The competitor that Donovan Mitchell is, what he likes to do to a team, how he likes to impact the game, and the fact that he wants to win. All of those things are factors in regards to him in free agency. If he feels like the Cleveland Cavaliers will never be more than a first-round exit, then he's going to look at other teams, see what they're doing, and want to go there. And Brian Windhorst already just stated he wanted to be a New York Knick. He wanted to get traded to New York. That's where he wanted to be. And I don't think that changed much from a year from now or even 2 years from now. I don't think that's the case, especially when each and every offseason we see Donovan Mitchell where? Certainly not in Cleveland. We see him in New York. We see him doing things in New York. Now, of course, he has family in New York. He has a lot of strong ties to New York, but he's still doing a lot of those pro runs in New York, not in Cleveland. And that's something to be said. Going to Brian Windhorst's last point here, where he's stating that Donovan Mitchell may be looking at Jalen Brunson and seeing what he has and is thinking to himself, well, damn, that could have been me. Donovan, it can still be you. You think if you came here, you wouldn't get the same treatment as Jalen? Maybe if not the same level of treatment? New York would fall in love with you just as much as Jalen because they understand the type of player that you are, The fact that you want to be in New York, and everybody knows, every fan knows, if you want to be here and you want to play for this team, you want to accept this pressure, and you are an all-star type of player, somebody who could potentially be called a superstar type of player in Donovan Mitchell, given his impact and what he's meant to this Cleveland Cavaliers team this season, then absolutely, I think without a doubt, if Donovan Mitchell's on this Knicks team, he is going to get that same love, that same appreciation, and that same praise without a doubt, because New York understands the type of player that he is, the level of player that he is, and what he could mean to this Knicks team. In part, I can understand why Brian Windhorst kind of started it off by saying, I don't think that Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks is a possibility right now. The reason you would say that is, if you're looking at the standings right now in the East, the Cavs have a better record than the Knicks right now. They are further ahead than the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. That's an absolute fact right now. However, the playoffs is going to be a different story because the Cavs are going to get tested again. And if they get tested and they don't come out of that test the right way, it could lead to a lot of disasters for them moving forward with Donovan Mitchell and that entire roster. Maybe they have to do a soft rebuild, an immediate rebuild. Maybe they're going to have to try to get as many assets as possible back. But all I can say is having a great regular season is good. It's great, but you don't hang your hat on that. You hang your hat on the games that matter the most. And the games that matter the most are played in the postseason. They're playoff games. Those are the games you want to win. You want to have in the win column. Those wins push you further, take you further than you ever thought you could be, and make sure you make a statement wherever you're playing. The Knicks did that last year with Jalen Brunson and that team. If they get back there fully healthy this year, which I anticipate they will, they're going to make another huge statement. Consistency in this league, especially in the playoffs, is attractive. But going back to Donovan, the Knicks have all the assets necessary, the players necessary to make that Donovan Mitchell trade happen if and when it becomes available. Right now, of course, it's not worth talking about. The Cavs are a very good team. They're a strong team. But again, this is the regular season. Let's see what they do in the postseason. That's going to define the rest of their year, the rest of their offseason, and what they're going to do next season. And that's what I'm watching and waiting for. And I'm sure that's what Leon Rose and the Knicks front office is waiting to see too. And they're also looking for other players, other names, and watching the league to see who else is going to be the next disgruntled star. Because whoever that is, if it's been a player the Knicks have wanted and coveted, the Knicks have everything in their back pocket to make it happen. This is why it's exciting to be a Knicks fan right now. We have the best team that we've ever had in the better part of a decade. We are stacked with assets. We have a front office that is competent, know what they're doing, and doesn't mind being patient. What more could you ask for as a Knicks fan? Maybe the only thing you can ask for right now is the Knicks getting healthy fast, gelling together fast, building that chemistry together fast, and going into the postseason as not only a healthy team, but a team that is dominant and ready to make a difference and a great impact in the playoffs. I hope a lot of teams, a lot of the NBA pundits, and a lot of the NBA analysts around the league count the Knicks out in the playoffs. Think that the Knicks are good, but just not good enough right now. I want that to be the energy because the Knicks, every single time they get treated that way and they're given that energy, they respond back, not only accordingly, but so strong that they make everybody forget that narrative and jump on the narrative that potentially the Knicks can do anything because we have the roster when healthy to do just that. You can't stop what this Knicks team can do. And if they make the right additions and the right moves, we are going to be this way for years to come. In my opinion, Donovan Mitchell is one of those players that if the Knicks add him, they will be that contender in the NBA for so many years to come. I understand with Leon Rose, it's all about value and how much you can give up to get him. And if that's the case, I'm understanding of that. I'll let the Dawn handle his business and I'll wait patiently. I just hope I'm waiting for the inevitable, which is Donovan Mitchell coming to the New York Knicks. Cavs, it's really on you. Continue doing your thing. Continue doing what you're doing. But I'm watching. The New York Knicks fan base, we're watching. Front office, they're watching. Don't slip up. Do everything you need to do and continue this course. But in the postseason, if that ship goes sinking again, Leon Rose is going to jump and try to get Donovan rightfully where he belongs, and that's in the orange and blue as a New York Knick. But what about you guys? What do you think about this recent report from Brian Windhorst, who initially started off the report by saying Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks doesn't seem like a realistic thing, but then ended his particular quote by stating that Donovan Mitchell has always wanted to be a New York Knick, and he's looking at what Jalen Brunson has and is saying he wishes that could be him. And like I said, it still could be you, Donovan. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.